Hello, and welcome to Conny Decorates today. Autumn is here, and who else is with us? Michael, the cameraman. That's right. And it's lovely again, and we said, all right, now we're going to make a really beautiful wreath. Michael was absolutely thrilled. But while we were making the wreath, he even said, this is really beautiful. It really is beautiful. You know, Micha likes water and table decorations, right? And entryways, exactly. But that's our topic for today, dear ones. Very autumnal. And if you want to know how it works, stay tuned, because we're going to show you now into something remarkable. Then that side, Micha. Let's show this one first, exactly. Here I have quite a few leaves, and they're already starting to dry out a bit. I think that's really, really beautiful, and that's exactly how it should be. Then I have some leftover eucalyptus here. These are just the leftovers here, a tiny rose hip baby's breath. Then down here I have a bag. I always keep one with bark and small branches. Up here I have a sunflower and a little Sonia. Look, isn't she cute too? I got lucky with that one. Actually, sunflower season is really over now, but you can still get them at the florist. Then, from our quince tree, I just picked a few small quinces. I always think they smell so nice too. Then here I collected chestnuts this morning with Sophie, and back here I have a few ornamental apples in red and green. And these are, I don't know, ornamental peppers, right? Yeah, exactly. And a little sea cucumber like this. We still have a few more out on the terrace. So here's the base. Let us show you, this is this big circle. You can take a look up here in the info box. We had decorated it for summer, and I just took all of that off. And now it's going to be decorated for autumn. Then here I have some thick wire, wire cutters, scissors, garden shears, a hot glue gun, and binding wire. Now let me take a look. I actually have the green one here. Yes, the green binding wire. I think I'll use that today. You can check down below in the video description. We now have it at Hof Ulkers as well, so feel free to take a look. We have some really beautiful things there. So, on the other side, I have some Spanish moss, a leftover bit of Muehlenbeckia that I still had. I think I definitely need to get some more supplies for autumn. And then green moss, and that's it. And I'd say, let's get started. Here we go. A subscriber wrote to me on Instagram, Conny, hey, what do you think about using sunflowers? It's just so wonderful. That's something I always do as well. The blossoms, when they're done blooming, let me just show you real quick. You can easily pluck off the petals, and then you have this beautiful center here, which looks fantastic, even later in the wreath, and it dries out really well. And I really loved this idea, and it was another incentive, an inspiration, thanks again for that, to make this big wreath once more. It will have a spot here in our garden, under the tree, beneath the copper beech. And yes, I'd say let's get started. And for the base of this big wreath, so that it has some volume, since I don't have much left, I'm just going to use the remaining Muehlenbeckia. Of course, you can use anything for that. You can certainly use old newspapers. You can, yes, use paper, old paper bags, or even birch twigs are always wonderfully effective too. And I'm just going to carefully lay this around here a little bit. Secure the binding wire here. We'll just wrap it around once here. Now I'm just going to loosely wrap it around a few times so that the Muehlenbeckia is a bit secured to the wreath. Sending my regards to my colleague Raminta. Hello. That was really nice because yesterday we worked together and we also had these leaves which are about to go into the wreath here, and they were dried out. So, as I said, really nicely crinkled. And she wanted to throw them in the organic waste, and I said to her, for heaven's sake, you know what? Take them. Take some Muehlenbeckia and just make a wreath. And it looked so fantastic. She was so amazed herself. And then she had to laugh, and I said, see, it doesn't have to go in the trash. You can work it in anywhere. And that's actually one of the nicest things about this whole thing. And that's exactly what we're going to try out today. So, we've tied the birch twigs all the way around, maybe 5 minutes, quick and easy. And wait, not Muehlenbeckia, birch twigs, right? They look too similar. So it's the Muehlenbeckia. And now I'm going to carefully take the vibrant green moss and gently lay it out. I want to meticulously arrange it all the way around the entire structure. I will just take a small bundle of the moss, then carefully wrap the binding wire loosely around it, and now I'll proceed to do it just like I did previously with the Muehlenbeckia, completely covering the whole thing with this beautiful soft moss. hide them in here with great care. You can absolutely leave everything inside this arrangement, the sturdy branches, the charming pine cones, and even the rich fertile soil. And that really makes the wreath. Look, here I also have a branch, a really beautiful natural charm. And right, I'm almost at the end here, just tying this in as well.
I'm looking out from my window.
Where do I start? We've wrapped it all the way around now. I've left the wire attached and now I'm just quickly pulling off the leaves here. Okay, and I think I've just carefully grabbed some beautiful bark here because we really do have a truly huge and substantial wreath, and I think you can really effectively work in all these wonderful natural materials perfectly and seamlessly. We have plenty of available space here, so I'm going to carefully glue a sturdy piece of bark on with hot glue and then allow it to thoroughly dry and set completely. And here I also have my floral wire. I just took 3 leaves, placed them together and wrapped the wire around them once. But I'll show you that again.
Yes, it's completely dry. I just carefully laid them all together like a beautiful fan, spreading them out.
Now I take the binding wire, wrap it around once, but don't pull too tightly, otherwise they'll stick up. And then I'll just carefully take, I'd say, a good few vibrant berries and a generous bit of soft Spanish moss. And now I'll gently wrap the sturdy wire around this section again, carefully remove the remaining part of the stem. And now I'll take this lovely little Sonia rose, delicately take off its lower leaves and precisely cut off a small piece right here. I'll do precisely the same with this delightful little one right here. And I'll just carefully place it here, gently adding it on top, and the other considerably smaller one, I'll carefully lay it next to it, and then meticulously wrap the binding wire around it once again. Now I'll take the fresh leaves again. You just have to thoughtfully consider how many you truly want to use. Perhaps I'll take a bit more of the bark, just to ensure a fuller look. The leaves will come in a moment. This one will go on here at a bit of an angle again, but you can really decide for yourself what you want to do or how you want it to look. For example, I think a quince would look really nice here, don't you think? Looks good. Looks pretty good, right? That's why I'm going to take a piece of wire here now. Exactly, I'll just cut off a piece here. That's a bit too much. Exactly. I'll cut myself a piece and make a kind of staple out of it. The side you want to have facing forward. I want to work on the other side now, so I will carefully put a generous amount of hot glue on this surface here, then gently place my wire on top of it. Now, of course, you have to patiently wait a little bit and allow it to completely dry. It is starting to firmly set, and now you can very easily and securely poke it into the wreath, and it holds perfectly in place. All right, let's keep going. Exactly, now I'll take the 3 leaves, or maybe even 4. I'll just see. Maybe I'll use 2. It could potentially be 2 as well. I'll carefully place them here again in this precise spot, and now I will utilize my sturdy binding wire to securely fasten them here once more, ensuring they are firmly in place. Now a bit of Spanish moss here again. Maybe you also have some curly moss or Iceland moss. And then I'll take the berries again. I think that fits really well. I think it's truly a great autumn color, and now I'll go around here again. I'll take the ornamental apple here and put a nice dab of hot glue on it as well. Be careful, because I don't know how many times I've burned myself already. I'll lay the wire on here and fix another nice dab of glue on top so it really holds, and now I'll wait a bit. Then I'll take the apple, right? Nicely dried. And I'll poke it in here as well. There, and it holds perfectly. Now I'll take another piece of bark. This is a really cool craft project, I think, right? You can really put anything on here. All natural, just whatever you feel like right now. And I really like these seed pods. And I also really thank you again for the idea with the sunflower. Really, really great. And now I'm going to take a sunflower like this as well. I'm going to remove all the leaves and cut the stem. First like this, and then we'll see. Look how wonderful that is. I really like it a lot. I'll place it here like this, and now I'll go around it once with the binding wire. You can also, if you want, always go over the bark here again. That will of course hold it even more, but it's already really firmly glued. Still, I'll go through here again and position the sunflower, then secure it with the wire so that the stem stays in place. Exactly, the sunflower naturally has height upward. Now I'm taking a bit of Spanish moss, just placing it lightly underneath here and then wrapping my floral wire around it. You can also use green moss or really anything else just so it's a bit covered up. All right, and now we continue. Now, of course, we can nicely tuck the leaves underneath again. It's really perfect because they're nice and big. And of course, we can get around the wreath much faster than if you were using small items. That's obvious. So, and now I'm taking the leaves here. I've attached a little sea cucumber here, and I'm going to keep doing that. Now I'm taking some bark again and a few leaves, just the way I like it. I'm making the little sun, you see. We can also nicely place that in here again. I think that can go underneath there. And now we'll alternate things a bit here. Look, I've got a little ornamental pepper here, which I think is really cute. I'll just attach that here with some hot glue. In the end, look, and we even managed to fit in a little Sonia. That means we've used everything, all the sunflowers and even the little Sonia. And now I am carefully taking my binding wire, meticulously wrapping it around the structure a few times, ensuring a secure hold. Then I will neatly twist it into place at the back, creating a clean and finished look. Subsequently, I will precisely cut off an appropriate piece of the wire and securely fasten it at the back, connecting it firmly to the other existing wire, ensuring everything is perfectly secured and stable. Honestly, for how big it is, that was really quick, wasn't it? That was very quick. Super quick, I think so too. You can also, here I've used a few more leaves, always placing them right and left and once in the middle. Of course you can do that as well. Usually I've only used 3 here, so you could make it a bit fuller if you wanted. If you don't have any moss, such as Spanish moss or other similar natural materials, you can also effectively use barbed wire as a bright, striking highlight. That's also a really great way to add some visual fullness and a sense of volume, and I truly think it looks quite nice and aesthetically pleasing. I thought that the vibrant green, we have a little bit of pepper in there, that's certainly enough, because that really nice bright apple green, in my humble opinion, doesn't quite fit the aesthetic today, but we still have some beautiful chestnuts and some lovely large cones, and I truly think they can be wonderfully attached to the bark right here with some hot glue.
Sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door.
And Micha, do you like it? Yes, very much. Very good. Even though this isn't really your thing, right? No, but I'm doing it. He said, another wreath again? I said, no, this is only the second one. But it turned out really nice, very nice. Yes, I think so too. I also think it's really beautifully autumnal, and this inspiration with the sunflowers, later we can easily remove the blossoms, and what I also think is really great is that it goes really well with the chestnuts too. Look at the center here of the sunflower, and then these brown spots inside. Exactly. And I'd say, dear ones, let's go with you over to our tree corner and hang up the wreath. Dear ones, that was our topic, right, Sophie? You like it too, don't you? She already wants to go outside again.
Exactly.
She was really involved again today with her frisbee. I'm sure you noticed. I never notice it when it happens behind me, but I heard her. So dear ones, we really hope you enjoyed today's topic and that we were able to inspire you. Give us a thumbs up. If you don't have a free subscription yet, go ahead and activate the bell. That way, you'll always get notified when a new video is online. And what's new with us, you can find down here in the video description. Take a look. There you'll find, if applicable, the links to the decorative items. Yes, exactly. And then you can go there if you want something. So, dear ones, we're looking forward to seeing you. You're Conny and you're Michael, the cameraman. That's right, we'll be back in a few days. See you then. Bye.
You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way back.